Hey guys, it's Voodooka, bringing you not another, but actually the first video ever on that channel, focusing on the 279E, the Russian super ship, and how to unlock it. Like a little bit of a mission guide. What did I do in order to get it? Was it efficient? What are my recommendations? What are my tips for you guys in order to get it? So, as you can see, it looks rather funky with the V-shaped hull, not having any lower plate due to having four set of tracks. And the first question might be: is it actually worth it? Is the effort, the time, is that worth it? So yes, it's for sure worth it in my opinion. It's a clear yes. So the tank itself is amazing. It's pretty great. I just did 12 battles. We're going to look at the stats for the 12 battles, even though it's just a small number of battles, in a second, so you can actually get a first idea on what is going on with that thing. Plus, on the way of to get there, in order to unlock the beast, the Russian super ship, you need to finish a lot of missions that will give you credits. They will give you 3 days of premium consumables. They will give you equipment, bonds. Also the female crew members you will get. So it's definitely worth doing it, and especially the first set of missions, the Excalibur missions, since you can run them more or less in the background. It's just grinding. So to put things into a perspective, let's quickly talk about my stats. So I clock in over 9,000 for the personal rating, which is about 2,400 W8 at 22,000 battles, and I win 58% of them. Actually, I do have 27,000 battles. I have an A account with, I think, 5,000 battles or something, or 6, I don't know, that I was playing when I was working in the United States. So yeah, I do have a little bit more experience than what it's showing here. But I think, to sum it up, it's I'm on the upper scale of the skill, and but for sure not a Unicum yet, or a super Unicum. So you will have this perspective from a guy like me, how hard the missions were, and what kind of procedure I did in order to get them. I'm pretty sure if you're super Unicum anyhow, over 3k W8 or something, you're not even going to watch this video, since it will be a walk in the park for you to unlock it. Alright, then let's get stuck in. 12 battles I said I played in that. As you can see here, only 43% of them I won, which is actually below the 58% of my average wins. However, if we look at the 12 battles, I had one battle already where I almost did 8k damage, and my armor use efficiency is 1.85. All this having the perspective in mind that I'm not really familiar with the vehicle yet. I haven't played it a lot. I mean, I do know where the strengths and weaknesses are. I looked up the armor models and stuff like this, but for sure not even close there that of having it mastered, or even got an ace tank on it. Obviously, the requirements are super high. So quickly looking at the gun marks, you will need 8,900 combined in order to 3-mark that thing, which is ridiculous, and I'm pretty sure I will never be able to achieve it. But maybe that's up for a later challenge. But one thing I would highlight here is the armor use efficiency, 1.85. It's close to being at 2, which means you basically have 3 lives. You have your hit points, you have and then the 1.85 of those hit points that you can still block, or on average. So I'm pretty sure this number will actually increase, because the first few battles, first 2-3 battles, I was like, okay, I have the thing. No one can stop me. I just went full YOLO in tier 10 battles, and guess what? In tier 10 battles, not using your armor correctly, meaning maybe pointing it upwards to de-angle it, people will be able to penetrate you. And sometimes, I already also had one battle where they just shoot HE at you, say, so you actually block 0. This said, I think this will increase, so yes, to cut the intro, it's definitely worth it. Let's jump into the campaign in order to, for you guys, in order to unlock it finally. Meanwhile, I have to get a sip of coffee, because otherwise my voice will die on the way. Alright, so let's go back to the start a little bit here. So as you can see, I did it with the block missions. Block missions means you do have to use Japanese or German vehicles. Obviously, you want to use German vehicles for the majority of these missions. since you have a wider spread, you have more vehicles to pick from. But actually, I think the common understanding is that the block path, so going through these nations, is the most difficult one. Um, I would suggest you actually to do the coalition if you have the EBR, the French wheeled vehicle. You can do 50% of them already, and you're not really depending on RD missions. However, today I will discuss the way I did. So I did the block mission because I have more or less all the vehicles unlocked, and it was still manageable. So it was not for sure not impossible. There were a few missions that were stressful, so to say, and I was close of getting a new a keyboard, but that thing survived luckily. And yeah, so back to the missions. You can do it with one set of missions for the Object 279E if you get all the orders from the Excalibur missions and if you get all the orders from the Chimera missions, because every one of these last missions here, they will give you an order if you fulfill the secondary. So since there are 2 tanks, you will end up having 8 orders, and then you can do one chain here. You also have to do the secondary for this one chain that you pick. You will get another order, so you have 9 orders that you can then spend on the last mission, not having played a single one before. So you can directly unlock the 15th mission with the orders, and you do not have to touch any of these missions. And this is my opinion, the fastest way of getting it. If you have struggled getting any of these orders before, actually also the doing this 15th mission here with honors, you will have to go 2 paths, which is then a lot more playing, in my opinion. Okay, so let's start with the Excalibur missions, the ones that you have to basically get the orders with the secondary. Excalibur missions, generally speaking, are totally grindy. There's no time gate, nothing. There's no restriction that you have to do something with a certain amount of battles. You just have to do it somewhen. Basically, for the Union 15, it is asking you to do ace tankers 3 times. So my recommendation here is just play whatever tank you like. Play the one you're grinding. Play the one you feel actually comfortable with, that you enjoy playing. Do not play Artie, and because Artie sucks. And don't play something like the 260 if you have it from the first set of missions from the first campaign, because that thing is really, really hard to ace. It's played very well. It's a good tank, so don't go that way. An approach here is to go to What Life, go into European server statistics, and then sort tier 8, 9, and 10 tanks, because obviously, well, actually here you can also go 6 and 7. Sort for that, ascending by average XP, and cross out the RD. So you will end up with the tanks that have the lowest XP on average, equaling into the tanks you will get an ace tanker the easiest. This will be one of the things we're going to watch later for the Bloc-15 on the 275, where you have to ace it. Alright, so here maybe play something like the LTTB, play a Type 64, Type 62, something like that. Scout tanks usually work fine. You will get the aces eventually, and then do not spend the order. For the Bloc-15, you have to get 2 epic or hero medals. So let's quickly see what that actually is. If we go to awards in the service record, you will see there's the Battle Heroes category, and there is the Epic Medals. Epic Medals are really hard to get. We will not plan of getting any Epic Medals. However, you can plan a little bit, or you can have a strategy in order to get the Battle Hero Medals. One strategy is play Scout tanks. Play light tanks. You can get Patrol Duty and Scout if you have a really good scouting game where you're actively scouting, or passively, and you have a lot of initial spots. So you want to get initial spot at some point. So this will be then the Scout medal. Scout 9 enemy vehicles. No one has to shoot them, but just scout 9 vehicles. Important to remember: once it's spotted the first time, you cannot know. It's basically either you spotted it for the medal or you did not do it. So initial round, getting some vision. Where's the enemy team going? Obviously, it's a little bit map dependent. And then you want to have the patrol duty, the team actually shooting stuff. Or you can, as you can see by the numbers, I have a lot of high calibers and Confederates and also tank snipers. You can pick what kind of tank you would like to do, scout tank or maybe tanks, Scorpion G to snipe for high calibers. Just do something like that. Usually these are common combinations: scout and patrol duty, high caliber Confederate, high caliber, or the Top Gun. Again, just grindy. You will get it eventually, but yeah. Try to have a strategy on the and use the vehicles you're most comfortable with. And then it repeats a little bit itself. Alliance 15, again, 3 ace tankers, do the same thing, play the tanks you're good with. Maybe do not play the Chieftain, the tier 10 one. And if you're struggling with that, go on what live and search for a tank that is easy to ace. Coalition 15, again, 2 battle hero medals or epic medals. Do the same thing. It's pure grindy. Do the same thing as for the German and Japanese mission for the block ones. Eventually you're going to get them. It's just a matter of time, really. There's no real skill cap, so to say, unless you're not a complete tomato. Okay, then now we are moving into the set of missions for the Excalibur. Again, I will not focus on the 1 to 14 mission. I'll just focusing on the number 15. And give you my recommendation what to do, how to do. So here for the Union it says Armor of God. Cause, receive or block 10k damage. So my recommendation here is, and obviously actually since you have to do the secondary, you have to do 20% of the overall damage and you have to win the battle. 20% of the overall from your team, not overall. So what you want to do is play something like this 2684, play something like the 260. If you have it, the 430U if you have it. It should be something that is able to bounce a little bit, but then most of the Russian tanks, at least hull down, they can bounce something. For sure don't play Artie for that one. It will not work whatsoever, but I think this is obvious. So play something which is really high tier. Go for a tier 10. Go for something where you are able to cause a lot of damage and still survive for a long time. So 2684, 430U, 260, but also the i7 can work for sure. So this is the way of addressing this. The important thing here is actually really the 20% damage, because 10k combined also with the receiving, so your hit points also count basically. You do not need to survive. Is, in my opinion, actually not too hard. But the 20% of the damage at the same time is tricky, because you cannot just stay somewhere and eat shots and block shots and not doing something. So you have to be active and you have to carry the game more or less. Another trick here, and this is one of the more general remarks for you guys, do it with statistics. And what that means is go into the service record, go into your vehicle statistics, and here for instance for the Russian tanks, look where you have a lot of average damage. Okay, so 430U for instance, I'm clocking in at over 3k damage, 2684, 2.85. So now you can do something in a spreadsheet, a table. You can see your damage ratio, you can see your armor use efficiency, you know the hit points of the vehicle. So do some formulas, quick math, to get the overall combination of where you're ending up. Obviously you cannot, well actually also damage received is there. So you can do everything, you can calculate everything out, and the one tank where you get the closest to this 10k which you need here, just go play that tank. It will be statistically the one where you have the highest chance of succeeding. Alright, then jumping back into the mission, so this is how you do the Union one. The block one is also not too hard. Here the recommendation is turn on grand battles. There will be more hit points, more stuff to shoot at, and my recommendation personally would be do it in a heavy tank. Don't do it in a tank destroyer. And why do it in a heavy? Because heavy tanks, they meet each other. So first of all, if you queue up in a heavy tank, there will be a heavy tank on the enemy team. You can shoot it. Then second of all, the heavy tanks, again, they meet each other. They go to the heavy flank usually. So what you will shoot in a heavy tank is more or less a heavy tank in the majority of cases. If you go into the battle with a tank destroyer, they usually camp in the back. they shoot whatever is spotted. They shoot something. They shoot the tanks that are pushing into your territory. So usually light tanks, medium tanks, and then I would say heavy tanks, and then I would say tank destroyers. So to get it done quickly, heavy tank, go tier 10, go grand battles, and also platoon with 2 guys or girls also that are also playing a heavy tank, because then you have 3 enemy heavy tanks already in the battle, and it makes your the chances of succeeding will just increase actually dramatically if you do so. Alright, Alliance 15. This one is a really tough one. So do not expect to have that mission done with secondary or with honors rather quickly. Actually, for me, it was one of the last 3 missions that I still had to do. And you have to do 6.5k damage, raw damage, no spotting, no tracking, nothing, just pure damage, plus 5 kills, plus a win. I addressed it in a way that I was looking at the WOD replay website and looking for for games with a lot of damage and kills. Because I don't have the 60 TP, I was looking for UK and or British and American vehicles. And what you will see and what you'll find is either you play an FV, the shit barn, or the 18, the FEB 183, or you wanna play the Super Conch, the Chieftain if you have it. I don't have it. Or the T-55-7. My recommendation here would be go with the shit barn. It will eat up a lot of credits, but this is the way I did it. So I did it with the shit barn. I ended up on Siegfried line. I will do another video just about that. And did 8.3k, 5 kills. And actually in the end I started capping because I was afraid that my team is going to lose against I think it was a Leopard remaining. So I really wanted to secure that victory. It took me around 100 to 120, 30 battles in order to do so. I also tried playing S-Conch and these tanks, but yeah, it actually I think having a peekaboo map in an FVTD where you can just shoot, kill something, fall back, it's the best way of doing it. Obviously, again, it will take time. You have to be a little bit lucky with the teams, especially because nowadays you have a lot of these fast battles where you actually get completely butchered or you're killing the enemy in no time. And with the reloads you have and everything, in order to get 6.5k damage, you need a rather slow battle. So it's also depending on the map, on the teams. It's not only you and it's not only your skill. Not even the greatest Super Unicum can do that in 10 battles. Well, I mean, if he's lucky, yes, but on average, for sure not. So this one is a really tough one. Don't get frustrated. Take your time. You'll do it. The last one is, in my opinion, the easiest one. It's for the French, Swedish, what else is there? Italian, and I think the Czech tanks, if I'm not mistaken. Do 8k combined in spotting, tracking, and damage. And your allies need to kill 3 tanks that you spotted or tracked. So just go EBR, put on grand battles, drive around like a monkey, collect the spotting damage, do some damage in the end game, and you're going to succeed. So this one is actually really easy in my opinion. The toughest part here is that your team is shooting or destroying 3 tanks that you spotted or tracked. So recommendation here is actually go for the tracks to be safe. If you have the chance to kill something or to track it, just track it. For this mission, you don't need kills, okay? You need damage, fine, but you will also get the assistance damage when you track the guy, plus it will count towards the 3 kills. So go for the tracks in order to get the 3 enemy vehicles destroyed by your team. And obviously platooning with two teammates helps, because then it's not 1v29 but 3 versus 27, and you're a little bit less dependent on your team, as long as you can trust your teammates, obviously. Alright, then jumping into the 279E missions. Again, I will focus now today on the block chain, or the sets for the block. If you like that kind of review and recommendations, I can also do it for Union, Alliance, and a Coalition. But today, let's focus on the way how I did it. So I did it that way, as I said, because I do have a lot of German and Japanese tanks unlocked, or more or less all of them. So I had a lot of vehicles to pick and choose from in order to succeed here. So Block 1, Smoking Barrel. You have to do 3.5k with in 3 battles in a row. So it's asking you for a lot of damage output, and it has to be somewhat consistent over 3 battles. Here, even I did the secondary for all these missions 1 to 14. We don't need the secondary, and also would recommend to not go for the secondary. Just do the standard thing, and sometimes it's tough enough. So here again, do the statistics, go on your service record, look at the tanks 8 to 10, tier 8 to tier 10. What tank you putting out the most damage on average, and just pick this tank. Equip it with maybe consumables, shoot more gold or premium rounds than you would do normally. We don't care about the credits here. We want to unlock the tank. Plus, looking at it, you will get 300k and actually 500k in total if you do it with the honors back on credits when you do it. So there is payback. So don't be afraid to shoot gold. It's the toughest set of missions. You want to succeed. It's in the game. Just go ahead, use it. Second, so play Leo 1 or Guerrilla, but again, actually, I don't know what kind of player you are, what tanks you have. Just go in your service record, and the tank with the highest average damage, go ahead and pick that one. Earn the Shellproof Award. This is a tough one. Shellproof Award, if you're not familiar with that, let's jump back into the service record, go for awards. This is just a honorary rank, so I think it's this one. Yeah. So, what does it say? Have a total damage blocked by your armor exceeding the hit points of your vehicle. So if you have 2000 HP, you need to block 2001 incoming damage. But you have to survive. And this is the tricky part. Surviving means more or less equals into winning the battle. I mean, a draw can work, but if you don't just cap lose, which is not happening that often, it means that you will have to survive to win. So actually here it also helps to platoon, because it will increase, as long as you don't platoon with apes, but it will increase your chances of winning, chances of surviving. And really, if your team if it's not right on the edge, and let's say your team is slightly winning and you bounced your hit points, hey, back off. Go into the bush at the red line. Just don't play the game really actively anymore. Don't get spotted. Don't get shot. You don't have to do damage something for this mission. You just have to block your hit points and survive. Survive. Because I did the mistake. I wasn't actively playing. I thought, okay, I can peek here, maybe 2 shots, and I got caught. So I died, and that actually costed me the mission. I had to restart. This time, this is also the first mission where the reset button comes into play. So it says 4 out of 10 times, but actually it's 3 out of 9 times, because you have to, and you will restart and restart as often as needed in order to have it done once, and then you will follow up. Alright. Sorry, I have to get these coffee, otherwise it will be cold later. Bloc-3 The Punisher. Destroy 3 enemy vehicles 2 times out of 5 battles. Again, with the restart technique, it's actually once within 4 battles. So this one is actually pretty easy in my opinion. Just go kill steal, play with platoon mates, tell them that you need to do the kills, they can do the damage. You can do it in any tier, 8, 9, or 10. Also look into the statistics, what tank is good for you for the destruction ratio. Pick the one with the highest ratio and just go ahead and do it. It's one of the easiest missions. Block 4, The Willing Heart. Enable your allies to destroy 2 enemy vehicles by spotting or destroying the tracks. Recommendation is again, go play light tank obviously, you have a higher chance of spotting something, or medium with a lot of view range, and platoon up with your mates. Shoot the tracks, focus on the tracks, and tell you guys to kill it. Because you have to do it 3 times in a row. So this is actually the tricky part. I think I actually did it by myself, but you have to get lucky with your teams. So here really do it with a platoon and light or medium tank. Block 5, Flying High. Within 10 battles you have to cause 3k average damage. So reset the mission as long as you're below 5 or 6k damage, and then do it, Again, go into the statistics. I did it with the Grille, but maybe you will want to do it with something else. Go into the statistics. The tank that has the highest average damage, just pick that one. Shoot a shit ton of gold. You want to get the mission done, and go ahead and do it. And then actually, it's, in my opinion, rather easy. Don't play too aggressive. So the longer you live, the more damage you can dish or deal out on the battlefield. And also, don't play something like the Yeguru maybe. It's also a recommendation because having a lot of alpha is nice. Nice stopping power, and it's nice to see a big number on the screen. But if you're facing an enemy with only 2, 3, 400 HP left, and your average alpha is 1k, you're basically wasting half of your potential damage that you could do there. So don't play something like the Yeguru. In my opinion, Leopard 1 is a really good tank for that kind of mission. Again, alright. Block 6, again and again. Destroy 3 enemy vehicles of 2 different types, 2 battles in a row. So it will reset automatically. Again, pick something where you have a lot of a good kill-death ratio. Focus on not shooting only heavy tanks, obviously, but I think you figure that out by yourself. And then actually, this is, I think it's not too hard. You will do it within 10-20 mission battles. So it's not a show-stopping mission on the way to the 279E. The Termination, Block 7. Complete the primary condition. 3 out of 9 means 2 out of 8 actually, and it's asking you to do to be the top player by vehicles destroyed in the battle. That means also the enemy team counts. It's a little bit tricky here because if someone else is playing really well, they might challenge you for that mission. But again, kill-death ratio. Pick the one tank you need. Maybe a T55A full heat. Go for kill steals. And I'm pretty sure you will be able to succeed because you only ever do it twice within 8 battles then after you did it the first time. So don't forget to hit that reset button until you did it once. Block 8, the hole punch. Score an armor penetrating hit on enemy vehicles 7 times. My recommendation here is T55A and load gold. You will get a shit ton of penetration with the heat rounds. You will shoot a lot. DPM is good, a lot of shots per minute. So this is actually here my recommendation. You can also do it in a Leopard 1, Leopard PTA, doesn't matter. Everything with high penetration and fast firing will do the job. And yeah, it's not a hard mission actually. The Guiding Star. In 10 battles or over 10 battles, you have to enable your allies to cause 15k damage to enemy vehicles either by tracking or spotting them. In my opinion, it's also actually a pretty easy mission as long as you have the German light tanks or medium line. If you don't have the light tanks, you can play basically also not really heavy, but the mediums and or the Japanese mediums, and then you will want to focus on shooting the tracks, have your team finishing them off. Again, playing in the platoon here helps, so that your buddies are shooting what you have been tracking, so you can get the mission done easily. And then also maybe, well not maybe, you definitely want to do something like 5, 6, 7k combined or more. Until you have that, you want to restart. Oh, sorry, my bad. You want to restart and restart until you have that. Alright, 5 more missions to go, guys. High Caliber, or Block 10, the Good Samaritan. Samaritan. You probably noticed I'm not native English speaker, so forgive me that, please. So earn the High Caliber award 4 out of 20 battles. This one was tough. Why is it tough? Getting High Caliber is not that easy. You want to do 20% of the overall damage caused to the enemy team, and you need to do it 4 out of 20 times. So this one is the grindiest mission in my opinion, because actually it's up to 20 battles. It's not just do something within 3 battles. You have to be consistent. Again, reset until you have it. So you only have to do it 3 times out of 19 battles. And here what you want to do is, again, do the statistics, go into service record, look into the vehicles you could use for. In my opinion, in my case, it was actually the Guerrilla. So average battle, not the average battles. So I played 157 battles in the Guerrilla, and I got the award 20 times. So this ratio obviously is higher than in my Rheinmetall Panzerkampfwagen. I never got it out of 53 battles. In the Jägeru, I got it twice within 50 battles. So if I multiply this by 3, it would be 6 in 150, where it's here 20 in 150 battles. So do the math, go into the statistics, because this is how we were able to do it in the past, and then just pick that tank that is dishing out or getting the most high calibers. I actually did it in the Scorpion G, firing full gold, gold only, because I thought I can make some credits, or I actually will not run out of credits because I will gain at least what I spent. So that also worked out for me. But frankly speaking, just looking at the statistics, it would have been the easiest if I would have done it with the Guerrilla. So it's a tough one. Be ready to have more than 20 battles. It's more than 20 tries on that one. Bloc-11 Safari caused damage to 4 different enemy vehicles, 3 battles in a row. Guess what? If you have German arty, play German arty. Just pick the different targets and shoot it. Or play something like a medium T-55A, shoot different stuff. You don't need to survive, you don't need to win, you don't need to kill, just do damage, okay? So you can also just shoot HE basically, you don't even need to penetrate. So this is one of the easiest missions. Bloc-12, a knight in shining armor. Be the top player on your team by total damage blocked by armor. Big difference to the one with the shellproof award. You don't need to survive. Go somewhere, have people shooting at you, and just get a lot of blocking damage. So my recommendation here, if you have it, go with the Type 5. Or I think E100 or mouse will also work fine. Go top tier, go tier 10, because you will meet eventually tier 9 and tier 8 guys that have less chance of penetrating you. Go somewhere where a lot of stuff is going on, have people shoot at you. I know these block missions are kind of stupid because they start shooting HE, they start putting heat through your armor, but trust me, 1 or 2 guys, they will still continue to shoot AP or regular APCR, they will bounce, and you only have to do it 2 out of 6 times, since you want to reset the mission again and again until you got it done once. Alright, Hand of the Master, Block 13. Destroy an average of 2 enemy vehicles per battle, and you have 10 battles to prove that you can do that. Just play again, play with your buddies, do kill stealing, let them do the damage, do the final strike. You want to play something which is maybe not the Jägeru, play something like a Leo 1, Leo PTA, but again, it's about statistics. Go on your service record, browse through all the tanks, tier 8 to tier 10, Japanese and German in that case, and just look into where you have the best kill death or the destruction ratio, as they call it, and then just do it with that tank. Block 14, the sky is the limit. Be the top player on your team by damage cost. 3 out of 5 times, so 2 out of 4 times. Again, go into statistics, I don't know what your playstyle. Where do you do the most damage on average? Pick that tank. It will be most likely a tier 10 one, and then maybe shoot a little bit extra gold rounds, a little bit extra premium or consumables used there in order to really be the top player. In my opinion, since I'm also playing with guys that are actually really good at the game, I did it on my own without a platoon, since there's a chance that a platoon mate is also has a good game and they will steal the damage from you. Block 15, last mission to go. You have to ace something 3 times out of 20 battles or 2 times out of 19. So what I did is I went to the What Live website. I will also put the link into the description, and I was looking at the tanks with the lowest average XP. In the end, I ended up doing it with the HWK-12. The tank is horrible. The shell velocity is an utter nightmare. It's insane. I think an EBR is driving faster than your shell is flying. You have to get used to that, but you will do it with the spotting damage, obviously. So yeah, platoon with your buddies that will help you out. Maybe one in an RD, one in a tank destroyer, and then just have them shoot what you spot or tracked. Also, having a decent team obviously helps. So, generally speaking, these ace tanking missions are the easiest in light tanks because usually, on average, these tanks have lower average XP. People are not playing them that well. So, yes, in my opinion, you want to do it in a light tank. And here, from the German ones, it was the HWK with the lowest average XP, and I managed to do it. I managed to ace it 3 times. I think it took me 15 battles or something. And then you will receive the last order. So you will have 2 orders left from the Excalibur sets. You will get your 3rd order, and then you can spend it on the one set yet you have not spent it before, and you're finally able to unlock the 279E. Alright guys, since this was my first video, without any script, anything, just pure talking from my experience, how I did it, please let me know in the comments what I can do better the next time, so to be more precise or something. Just feel free to give me positive, negative feedback. I'm happy to improve. I will do a bunch of more videos in the near future, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. Have luck on the battlefield and go kill them all. Bye guys.